If you want to see any deck profile, definitely just leave a comment and I will make sure to deliver, because keep in mind, we have the luxury at this channel, seeing as we are literally filming and operating inside of a card store, we have the luxury of being able to play test and get access to every single deck, Vanguard deck, that you want to see. So as long as you leave a comment saying, yo, Strictly Broken, I want to see this, I will personally deliver. Hey everyone, it's UA from the Strictly Broken YouTube channel, and today I have a Pacifica V Premium Standard deck profile for all of you. Someone left a comment saying, yo, I want to see a Pacifica deck, and here's my take on it. So Standard V Premium is a crazy format right now. Like Gavril is just absolutely crazy, and honestly, the way I built this deck, I call it Pacifica OTK because the whole point of the deck is you ride up to grade 3 and you try to kill them, because you really don't have the time. Like you'll just die on the swing back a lot of the time, and you just don't have time in the game for that. So the Twinkle Melody did give us some more tools to make finding the 4 Pacificas much easier. And so yeah, let's just get straight into the profile. Starting off, 4 Pacificas. Don't get it twisted, I am not into the mermaid girl here. It's all about the 2 cute as fuck penguins in the art. Like my camera's probably not gonna focus, but man, the penguins, like I had to max this deck day 1 because the penguins are way too cute. You get 4 of these, you basically shake your opponent's hand. You're gonna win the game a lot of the time. And if you get 4 of these on the first grade 3 turn, it's over. It's GG's. Unless they miracle heal, it's over. So yeah, 4 of these. Put it here. 4 Ursulas. Some people have cut these and went for a more like grindier Pacifica list. I'm not about that. This list is all about just OTKing. You play this because it gets you Pacifica, so it's more copies of Pacifica in your deck, and it also enables your grade 1 that gets basically a +2 to get a +2. So I play 4 of these just to max out on that chance as well. Next up, 4 grade 2s we got. Again, it's never going to change. You see any Bermuda deck that's in V Premium / Standard, I think it should be playing 4 copies of Lizelot and 3 to 4 copies of Aqua. This early game rush is way too powerful, and it's just GG's. When you drop both of these, it's actually GG's. They're going to 3 every time, and then you ride into Pacifica, and then they're dead. If they're not guarding with their whole hand, they're already dead. So yeah, there's really not much to say about this. You play this to get them to guarantee 3 damage, because you open both, it's already over. Next up, 4 Abanes. You gotta make sure you get 4 Pacificas, and if it goes to damage, you're boned. So you play Abane because if it goes to damage, Pacifica, you can still get access to it. In fact, if it goes to damage and you already have Abane in hand, it's like actually just a blessing, because now you get to +2 again, getting Pacificas. So that's it for grade 2s. There's this new card. It gives basically your whole board boost, and then it's definitely designed to play for the long game, because it also costs Counterblast, and the intention is that card becomes a booster as well. Pacifica specific. I don't play it because it doesn't help me rush early game. Well, it kind of helps me rush early game, but you have to ride it. And yeah, like when you're going for the Pacifica OTK, you don't really care about boosting. Your opponent already has to give up 3 cards to guard your lanes. So if you don't care about the boost aspect of the Pacificas, you just want to swing in with the Pacificas. Your opponent has to give up 3 cards already. Getting that extra boost power is already covering the 3 cards, if that makes sense. So you don't need boosters, because the 3 cards that Pacifica forces you to guard, your opponent to guard with, will cover the boost power that any kind of give your board boost cards would intend to give. So no need for those kind of cards. You're just trying to have a powerful early game. 4 of this, so on to grade 1s. 4 of this new card, the Ursula. This card does help you get Pacifica. On play check top 7, add a Pacifica, and I don't even think you need a ditch. Yeah, you do not need to ditch, so it's +1 if you hit the Pacifica, and it also gains a bit of power. Not too relevant. You don't really care about any of that stuff. You're just trying to find Pacificas as fast as possible. 4 copies of the set 1 card. I don't even know the name, but if you ride it going second, you get to potentially get a +2. It's potential, but for no CB as well. So this card is absolutely insane. I don't know why some people have cut this card, but like this whole engine of this, and this, super bonkers. Basically, you resolve this card and it gets the full effect. You get your 4 Pacificas every time. So I would not cut this card at all. And then next up, only 2 copies of the grade 3 Searcher. by the time you resolve like one of these and then one of these, this card misses quite often. And then if you have to commit this card on the field only for it to miss, it feels like a waste. Like, yeah, it commits to the rush because it's a big booster, and your early game, you can send them to 3 with this card. But, you know, again, you can reuse these cards with your Aqua, keep in mind. So you can reuse a lot of these on-play effects. So I didn't really think I needed 4, and I thought these ones were better than this card. Like, this checks 7, this checks 7 as well. This only checks 5. I didn't really need more than 2. Every time you commit this and it doesn't find a grade 3, it actually feels extremely bad. So I decided just to only play 2 of this, and I played 3 of this card. Like, this card is, again, one of the powerful cards that came out of Twinkle Melody. The fact that this can filter 4 cards, but not also be a card that was committed to field because you just sack it off and do the acrobike. Like, you don't have to neg later to replace your boards with Pacifica, to replace your boards with Pacificas. And that's like a huge deal, because when you play all these cards down, to switch it into Pacificas, though these cards plus, they have to be called over when you go for the Pacifica board. And this card's great because it's that's why this card kind of functions like these cards over a card like, say, this grade 3 searcher, which is already a 1-for-1 when you search for Pacifica with it. But then when you have to replace your board, then this card actually becomes a neg. So this card just works way better. If you happen to ride it, you also get to get like a free draw if your opponent doesn't guard. So you get kind of force like a 15k shield out of their hand. If you boost this column, you're forcing more guard out of their hand. So then on grade 2, you can do more damage, and it's definitely a pretty powerful card. I definitely prefer this over this. Not maxing out this at 4 because, you know, it is a hard once per turn effect. So if you draw 2, it's a little bit clunky, especially if you draw. Like, if you end up drawing 3, it's absolutely just super clunk. 2 is fine because you got to use 2 of them in the early game, but once you draw 3, it's like kind of clunky. So I like this grade 1 lineup. I think it's perfectly fine. And then on to the triggers. It's just 16 crit. You know, like I said, you hit a crit after you rush your opponent to 3 in the early game, the game's done. The game's actually just over. Like, you hit a crit and they die, unless they miracle heal, in which case, whatever, they healed, you probably lost. But if they don't heal, you just win. Shake hands, game's over. So I'm on 16 crit right now. You really don't care about the heal. You don't care about the PG. This one's more than fine, 30k. And yeah, very simple deck profile. I do want to explain. So you basically, yeah, like I said earlier, you're basically never going force 1. You're basically always going force 2. You only go force 1 if your opponent managed to like guard all of your swings, because the Pacifica OTK doesn't actually go off very consistently if your opponent's at like 1 or even 2, to be honest, because they can hit like a damage trigger on the Pacifica swing if you don't hit double crit. So even at 2, it's a little bit risky to go for. So maybe you go force 1, but as long as they're at 3, you just go force 2 and you kill them. As long as you hit crit, it's over. If you hit double crit, you just go rear, and it's still over. So yeah, if they guard the Vanguard, is what I'm saying. This deck's pretty good, honestly. I'm not sure if it's top tier, but its ability to just win games on the spot, pretty strong. Yeah, one of my more favorite Bermuda decks coming out of Twinkle, to be honest. It's just so fun, just seeing your opponent. They don't even get to play the game, they're just dead. So kind of like Gavrail a little bit, but definitely, I think actually less fragile than Gavrail, but ceiling is not as crazy. So like Gavrail can 0 to 6 people, but this deck cannot. It's like really hard. They hit defensive trigger, the FTK just basically doesn't work as nearly as well, or if they hit 2 defensive triggers, the OTK just doesn't work, period. Yeah, I digress. That's it for this deck profile. Again, if you want to see any deck, any clan, any nation profile, leave a comment, ask for it, and we will deliver. We have, you know, every single card basically in our inventory, and so I can, you know, pull them out, make a deck, test around with some of our staff or some friends, you know, after hours, and just, you know, have a good time. So if you want to see a deck profile, leave a comment, let us know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and it's UA signing off. Peace.